They've renovated homes, revived neighborhoods, and inspired millions across the globe. But now, Drew and Jonathan Scott, the beloved property brothers, are revealing something even more personal. Their latest HGTV series, Chasing the West, isn't just a design show. It's a homecoming, a heartfelt return to their roots. And as it turns out, possibly their most emotional project yet. In this video, we're breaking down the Scott brothers' intimate reflections on ranch life, the bittersweet memories stirred by filming, and the surprising behind-the-scenes challenges of chasing the West. You'll hear their emotional update on what this journey meant to them, why some fans may not see another season, and how HGTV's quiet cancellation of companion projects is sparking speculation. So, settle in, because this is the story of how two city-flipping stars chased the past and found something deeper than ever expected. Let's start with the series itself. Chasing the West premiered July 30th on HGTV and quickly caught the attention of longtime fans. But this time, it wasn't about kitchen islands or curb appeal, it was about lifestyle and legacy. The show follows Drew and Jonathan Scott as they help urban families trade the chaos of city life for wide open skies and quiet rural land. Think less tile selection, more saddle fitting, less city hustle, more homestead hustle. Families hoping for peace and tranquility are dropped into the reality of rural living. And the Scott brothers are there to guide them, every dusty, challenging, emotional step of the way. But for Drew and Jonathan, this wasn't just another job, it was something more. A quick pause. If you want to stay updated on all things HGTV, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like the video if you're enjoying it so far, and drop a comment to share your thoughts. All right, let's jump back in. During an exclusive interview, both brothers opened up about how Chasing the West stirred something unexpected. Memories, real ones, from their childhood. Drew and Jonathan Scott didn't grow up in Hollywood or Toronto's suburbs. They were raised on a sprawling 160-acre ranch in the heart of the Canadian Rockies. It was rugged, remote, and real. And now, decades later, they were stepping back into that world. Not as boys, but as men. Jonathan said it best. It was sort of bittersweet. We could share what we loved about ranch life with all these families, but it made us miss it. It was so fun to be in the mountains again. For Drew, the reconnection came with laughter and soreness. He joked they hadn't ridden horses in years, and suddenly they were doing it almost daily. The aches were real, but so were the memories. It wasn't just filming a show, it was living in the pages of their own past. While the show is full of sweeping vistas and heartwarming family moments, Drew and Jonathan quickly realized something. Most of the families had no idea what they were signing up for. Jonathan recalled, "A lot of people thought they'd just move out, relax, and live their dream. But ranch life, it's not a vacation. It's mending fences, it's early mornings, it's running after cattle, and sometimes losing track of them. It's fixing what breaks. And it all breaks, eventually." Jonathan continued, "Land comes with responsibility, and the more acreage you buy, the more you have to maintain." He explained how these families would romanticize 20, 30, even 100 acres, without understanding the labor involved. And for the Scott brothers, it was like watching a lesson they learned as kids, now needing to teach it to others. The show became more than just a renovation journey. It became a wake-up call. Some families arrived wide-eyed and optimistic, but by the end, they were exhausted and humbled. And the Scott brothers didn't sugarcoat it. They had to be honest. Because when it comes to land, honesty matters. Jonathan said, "These homeowners didn't have a clue. Some wanted as much land as possible without thinking about how much they really needed." So, episode after episode, the brothers found themselves not just designing floor plans, but reshaping expectations. It wasn't about discouraging dreams, it was about grounding them in reality. Because if your dream is to live off the land, you better be ready to work it. But it wasn't all hard work. For Drew and Jonathan, being back in nature triggered joyful flashbacks of chopping wood, of riding a TVS, of even lassoing. Yes, real lassoing. There were chores they hated as kids, like picking rocks out of pastures so horses wouldn't get hurt. But even those memories carried warmth. Drew shared his favorite part of growing up on the ranch. The evenings, We'd sit around a campfire, my dad would play guitar, we'd sing as the sun went down. That was magical. And that's what Chasing the West gave them. Not just the chance to help others find peace, but to remember what peace once looked like in their own lives. At its core, Chasing the West isn't just about helping people start over. It's about remembering where you came from. For the Scott brothers, it was about returning to the land, to the sounds of silence, to the rhythm of wind and dirt and sunrise. They weren't just guiding others, they were healing a part of themselves. Sometimes to move forward, you really do have to go back. But just as fans were falling in love with the series, something unexpected happened. Rumors of cancellation began swirling. HGTV didn't release a formal statement. There was no press release, no goodbye episode, just silence. And now, insiders are saying the network may not be moving forward with another season of Chasing the West. It's not confirmed, but the signs are there. Why would HGTV cut a show with big names, strong viewership, and emotional depth? One word: restructuring. In recent months, HGTV has quietly canceled several high-profile shows. Farmhouse fixer Christina on the Coast, the flipping El Musas, Married to Real Estate, and Chasing the West may be the next casualty in what fans are calling HGTV's quiet purge. In response to growing fan concern, Drew and Jonathan finally spoke out. They didn't confirm cancellation, but they did hint at uncertainty. In an emotional post, they said, "This show meant more to us than anything we've done in years." They talked about reconnecting with their roots. They thanked the families they worked with, and they encouraged fans to keep chasing their dreams, even if they lead off the grid. The message was clear. They're proud of Chasing the West, but they're also preparing for the possibility that the ride is over. Fans have flooded social media with messages of support. Some shared their own memories of ranch life, others begged HGTV to reconsider, and some simply said, "Thank you," for reminding them of what really matters. Not granite countertops, not open concept layouts, but land, time, and connection. Chasing the West wasn't just entertainment, it was therapy. Regardless of the show's fate, one thing is certain: Drew and Jonathan aren't going anywhere. They still have ongoing HGTV projects. Their production company, Scott Brothers Entertainment, is thriving. Their product lines and books continue to top charts. But will they return to the ranch? They've hinted that even if the cameras stop rolling, their personal journey west may continue, because once you rediscover your roots, it's hard to leave them behind again. Chasing the West started as a show, but for Drew and Jonathan Scott, it became something much deeper. It became a bridge between who they were and who they are, between the chaos of television and the peace of prairie life. And even if HGTV pulls the plug, the legacy of this show lives on. In every viewer it inspired, in every memory it awakened, and in every dream it dared to chase. What did Chasing the West mean to you? Do you think HGTV should bring it back? Have you ever dreamed of leaving city life for the quiet of the country? Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear your stories. And if you believe in meaningful storytelling, if you value authenticity over flash, then hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss what's next. Because sometimes the best way forward is to go back to where it all began.